Angels play a significant role in the Bible, particularly in the Old Testament, where their appearances and interventions are frequently recorded. Since the times of Abraham, Jacob, and Moses, these celestial messengers have been agents of divine revelation and protection, leaving an indelible mark on the history of God's people. In this video, you will learn about references to angels in the Old Testament, examining how they intervened in the lives of prominent biblical figures and how these angelic encounters shaped the destiny and faith of the people of Israel. Subscribe to our channel and leave your like to help spread this message to others. Angels occupy a unique place, often depicted as celestial beings who act as messengers and agents of divine will. Contrary to the view of them as mere mythical figures or abstract symbols, the Bible presents angels as real and tangible beings. Their interventions in the lives of believers, recorded in passages such as the angel's visit to Abraham and Sarah, Jacob's struggle with the angel, and the angel's appearance to Moses in the burning bush, demonstrate their palpable impact on the human world. Additionally, angels are described as spiritual personalities with free will and the ability to interact with the physical world. They have a defined mission to serve God and fulfill His designs, acting as intermediaries between the divine and the human. Their presence is often perceived through miraculous interventions, divine guidance, and supernatural protection, evidencing their palpable influence on people's lives. Despite their reality and influence, the angelic world remains largely hidden from human eyes. While some biblical passages report direct encounters with angels, such as visits to patriarchs and prophets, most interactions with these celestial beings remain beyond human understanding. This hidden nature of angels has added an aura of mystery and wonder to their role in salvation history, inviting believers to trust in divine providence even when they cannot see the celestial agents executing it. This brings us to the most mysterious angels in the Bible, the Oranim. What are the Oranim? The term Oranim in Hebrew is translated as a wheels and is mentioned in Ezekiel's Vision in the book of the prophet. Ezekiel had this vision during the Babylonian exile, a turbulent period in Israel's history when the people were far from their homeland and faced political and spiritual challenges. In this context, Ezekiel received an extraordinary vision that deeply marked him and influenced his prophetic ministry. In the vision, Ezekiel described living creatures with peculiar characteristics, such as 4 different faces: human, lion, ox, and eagle. These creatures, later identified as cherubim, were associated with the wheels, which are also mentioned in the vision. The wheels were described as high and terrifying, covered with eyes around their rims. These wheels seemed to have the ability to move in any direction without turning, symbolizing God's omnipresence and omniscience. Ezekiel's vision of the Oranim, or wheels, is one of the most enigmatic and intriguing passages in the Old Testament. His vivid description of the living creatures and the wheels creates a striking image that defies human understanding. However, this vision is not just a display of poetic imagination. It has spiritual and theological significance, revealing aspects of God's nature and character, as well as His sovereignty over all things. Ezekiel's vision describes a majestic and complex scene, full of theological symbolism. The images of wheels within wheels and of the cherubim reflect God's sovereignty and transcendence over all creation. The wheels represent the mobility and omnipresence of God, suggesting that He is active everywhere and at all times. This highlights the idea that God is not confined to a single location but reigns over the whole earth. The cherubim, in turn, symbolize the presence and glory of God. Their multiple faces and wings suggest a celestial and powerful nature. They are associated with worship and divine protection, serving as guardians of God's presence. The detailed description of the cherubim reveals the magnitude of divine majesty and the reverence they inspire. Additionally, Ezekiel's vision highlights God's transcendence over humanity. The image of the man on the fiery throne, surrounded by radiant glory, indicates the distance between creation and the Creator. This reminds us of God's holiness and incomprehensibility, which are beyond our human understanding. In theological context, Ezekiel's vision reinforces God's sovereignty and absolute authority over all things. It challenges us to recognize the greatness of God and to submit to His sovereign will. As we contemplate this vision, we are led to worship and reverence the Lord, acknowledging His glory and supreme power. Our lives as Christians are intrinsically linked to the supernatural realm, where a spiritual battle unfolds daily. Although we may live in a physical and material world, our faith teaches us that there are evil spiritual forces operating behind the scenes, seeking to divert us from the path of truth and righteousness. Understanding the supernatural realm is essential for our preparation and defense against the enemy's plans. By recognizing the reality of spiritual battle, we can be more vigilant and alert to the tactics of the adversary. This allows us to discern between right and wrong, good and evil, and make decisions that are aligned with God's will. The Bible warns us about the importance of putting on the spiritual armor so that we can resist the enemy's attacks. This includes truth, righteousness, peace, faith, salvation, and the Word of God. By understanding that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places, we are better equipped to face the spiritual challenges we encounter. Additionally, understanding the supernatural realm helps us maintain an eternal perspective, reminding us that our true homeland is in heaven. This gives us hope and strengthens our faith, knowing that God is in control and that in the end, we will prevail over evil. It is our responsibility to be aware of the spiritual battle we face and to be prepared to resist the enemy, standing firm in the faith and truth of God. And of course, angels play a crucial role in the lives of believers, as revealed in the Scriptures. Psalm 34 verse 7 assures us that the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, protecting them from all evil. Hebrews 13 verse 2 tells us that some have entertained angels without knowing it when practicing hospitality. Matthew 4 verse 11 recounts how angels ministered to Jesus after His temptation in the wilderness. Acts 5 verses 19 to 20 narrates how an angel of the Lord freed the apostles from prison so they could continue proclaiming the message of life. And Psalm 91 verses 11 to 12 reassures us, affirming that angels have been given orders to protect us in all our ways, holding us up so that we do not stumble. These verses highlight the active and benevolent role of angels in the lives of those who trust in God. Ezekiel emerged as an effective leader and clear communicator amidst the challenges of the Babylonian exile. His ability to convey divine messages vividly and impactfully distinguished him as a powerful voice in a period of spiritual and national crisis. Through the use of vivid visions and imagery, Ezekiel was able to capture the imagination of his audience and convey spiritual truths in an accessible and memorable way. His visions, such as that of the valley of dry bones coming to life and the cherubim and wheels in the sky, provided powerful visual metaphors that resonated deeply with his listeners. In summary, Ezekiel's leadership and message exemplify the attributes of a visionary leader committed to God's will. His ability to communicate clearly and persuasively, coupled with his determination and faithfulness, left a lasting legacy in Israel's religious and spiritual history. Did you know the story of angels? Share this video with more people, leave your like to help strengthen the channel, and spread this teaching message to others.